Hello, this is Alekius, and welcome back to another episode of BeamNG. Ostensibly, supporting Kiev motors, but we're testing everything up in here. What we have now is a car I've been eagerly excited to test drive. Oh, atrocious. Gas cap on the left side. Unacceptable. Who are these foreign nonsense people? That's alright, we'll move the gas can to the other side and we'll sell it as our own and it'll be fine. Anyways, as I was saying, a car I've been excited to try out, as Lightning has started another company, the Purai Motor Company of Fruinia. And this is one of their 1980s offerings, the Puppe LS, a light sports two-door coupe, designed in 1984, produced in 1990. Nice classical 80s styling to it. It weighs 897 pounds, all-wheel drive, so that's very lightweight for an all-wheel drive. 4-gear, advanced automatic transmission. The engine is an i6 1.7 liter dual overhead valve, 4 valves per cylinder. It produces 97 horsepower and has kind of a funky setup for the pipe where it necks down, probably in just a little bit of an issue with automation getting that right, but whatever. With that level of horsepower and that weight, that puts her at a horsepower to tons ratio of 103. Automation stick brought her around the automation test track in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, decimal 3. So let's see what we can do with her. I've been led to believe she's pleasant to drive. Slow off the line, a lot of boost. 6,300 RPMs. Ooh. She's responsive. Oh yeah, very responsive. We have to be careful. Makes me want to get a better controller. One where I can get those lower amounts easier. Oh yeah. Recovery is exactly where it needs to be. As you see that, like any other vehicle that we've tried for the last several episodes, I would have been on the wall. And she was just like, no, the road's that way, stick. And settled right down and pointed exactly in the direction she needed to go. That's amazing. Alright, now on the back straight downhill, see how her high speed performance. Steady, not too worried about a high speed oversteer. Bring it in, slow her down just a little bit, and then the rest of it. Keep forgetting she's an all-wheel drive, so I can be a little aggressive on the gas. I did not check to see what the ratio was for forward to back, if it's a straight 50-50, or if Lightning put it back to a more sensible 70-30. 70 in the back, power application, 30% in the front. She is a pleasure to drive. She will not punish you. I might have to take some time and poke around in automation to figure out what Lightning did to her. I mean, part of it's all-wheel drive. All-wheel drive is super heavy. It adds a few hundred extra pounds to the vehicle. but it makes it a lot easier to just slam on the gas whenever you want. And then the whole thing for balancing front to rear wheel drive in an all-wheel drive is about getting just enough oversteer and stability. Okay, 9 seconds behind the Stig. Not bad at all. Of course, we have the A25 LXR and the Concession putting silly times on the track, at least for how I drive. Not that there are some of these cars where I cannot get their performance. So 249.835, and there we go. Here we are on the handling track, which I imagine she will do very well. Will she put up best time? It's pretty doubtful. But she can be very aggressive, and she has nice wide tires, good suspension. A little bit of a shimmy in the back under heavy steering. Not sure if you can see that in YouTube land. Not needing to brake at all, except for some of these harder turns. Like, that is how much grip she has available to her. And how aggressive I can be with the gas. If you're looking at my throttle control, I'm not being gentle. It's pretty much 0 or 100, and 0 is braking. Without braking. Except for turns like that, where you just have too much speed, too stiff a turn. All these turns, though, I'm not needing to brake. Should try a little parking brake. See how that'll handle. But I think I'll wait. There we go. Around the course in a $137. Which is high on the list. Not far behind the A25. Alright, here we are on the hill climb. I am not anticipating great times on the hill climb. I think where she'll really shine is the downhill. Yeah, there's the aggressive cam kicking in. Not needing to let up at all for a change, which is glorious. Being aggressive with the wheel and the brake, and no trouble at all. Lightning did not mislead me. This is a pleasure to drive. Come around to the next hairpin. I let her get down a little too slow. Now we get onto the split turn. Minimum speed of 31, nice. Come up onto our S turn. Around the landslide. I'll even be aggressive here. Not worried about that gutter because I knew I could turn under gas. Or power. You brake it a little bit there. She wasn't coming around and I didn't want to let up on the gas. Big fat tires, lightweight. So ice may not be an issue. Actually, it's accelerating pretty well in this uphill. I mean, it's still ice. It'll still slide. Cam profile and amount of power being applied is appropriate for icy conditions. I imagine this car would sell well in Finland or Sweden. any of the Nordic countries. And floor it for that last bit, and number 2, 210,876. Puts her behind the Atrame, ahead of the Rossovy and the Concession. Here we are on the downhill. The Puppe handling very well, performing way beyond what her horsepower and weight would suggest, showing that a compilation, a well-designed car, in other words, better than the sum of her parts. Being very careful on the ice. Brake a little bit, around the corner, off the ice, and we are golden. A little bit of e-brake to help her get the first little bit around. That is a pretty stiff turn. Go on to the S turns. We'll brake a little bit. Oh, beautiful. Handling like a dream. Onto the split turn. Alright. Coming down close to the bottom of the mountain. Last dip. Last hairpin. Floor it for the rest of the time. I'm not too worried about this hill crest. Punishes a lot of cars, but Puppe handles it nicely with just letting up on the gas slightly. And puts out our best downhill time ever. 156.115. I'm gonna say I definitely called that one. Alright, here we are in the Puppe on the city course. Expect good things here as well. Probably not a top time. The downhill may be an issue. Her suspension seems be pretty stiff. I did not scrutinize it too closely while I was in automation exporting it. But the suspension acts like it's fairly stiff and sporty. So we'll see how this downhill works out. She may max out her suspension in a very bad way. But other than that, I expect very good things. Very aggressive here. Oh yeah, she bottomed out. Oh, she handles it well, but that is brutal. She is actually bottom. Not only is she maxing out her spring, she's bottoming out and scraping the ground. Undercarriage is touching. But maintains controllability, so able to take that downhill at a fairly rapid pace. Good brakes, so I'll be a little bit late on this. That worked out well. Come to this left-hand turn. At the crest. No problems. A little bit wide, but that's fine. Being careful of that curb. We will be known to eat tires. Past the gas station. Past the auto shop. Down to the cement factory. A little bit early on the brakes. Low end power is enough to overtake the hills. And there we go, through the city. And takes third, not too surprising. Patrame and Rosfi in front. Sechian and Carmine close contenders in back. 207.168. Here we are on the highway strip. This is where I think she will perform less than stellar. This doesn't have the raw power, and the cam's a bit aggressive to do well on the quarter mile. Now that was almost 20 seconds on the quarter mile. That's getting up into the yellows as far as the spreadsheet goes. He's struggling in third. Won't even make it into her final gear. Woo! Where is she? 13th. Behind the Grot SS and the Slep Room. Ahead of the Grot GT and the Gen DD. Oh yeah, and the Grandfather Resmo is up here somewhere. Throws it off, so she's actually 12th. 19 seconds, 8.56 for the quarter. And 48444 for the highway. The full mile. And there we go. Puppe LS. Doing well overall on all the road courses. Getting 11:49, which is still in the green. Behind the Autreme, the Concession by just a hair. In front of the Rossify by a squidge. Very well done. Pleasant car to drive. Really enjoyed that run. Didn't require too many redos. Here we get back to Kiev Motors of Archana with the gas cap on the correct side. If you can see the slight change in the glossiness right there. Archana Pride forever. This is the Szykowny PRM, designed in 1985, produced in 1990. It is a four-door sedan marketed towards the premium market. A whopping 3,189 pounds for its all-wheel drive, 4-gear, advanced automatic. She sports, of course, front longitudinally, an i4, all aluminum block, 4-valve dual overhead cam, producing a total of 162 horsepower for a horsepower to ton ratio of 102. Not too dissimilar from our the Puppe, which we just tested. And the automation Stig put her around this course in 2 minutes and 41 seconds and 1/4. The decimal 260 in this case. And so very similar, but I'm certain she's going to drive differently. So let's find out what we can do. Of course, Kiev Motors typically having high RPM engines. Woo! And there's the weight. Wow. I'm not even going to redo that. There we go. No oversteer. If anything, it's understeer. Strange warble in the engine as well. But she is a pig. Very heavy. Underbraked, if I had to take a guess. Not enough grip. You also note solid discs rather than vented. Okay, she's not that bad in a constant turn. We come back onto the back straight. Get onto the downhill portion and see what she can open up to. more importantly, what that high-speed oversteer might look like. Start edging into that. Controllable. Not too surprising, considering she's been rather tame and understeering rather than oversteering. Even if she overruns a bit because she's heavy. Definitely has the power to push herself around. Weird warble at like 6,500 RPMs. Woo! A little bit squirrely there. I don't think I'm gonna put together the same kind of time because she's not as easy to drive as the Puppe. Or Puppy, as the Gazmaians will probably call it. Those silly Gazmaians. Yeah, having to brake for the Omsicle. Lamb soap. Around the back end and floor it. Yep, we're about 20 seconds behind the Puppe. Putting her in 9th behind the Carmine and the Varchek, ahead of the Rossify and the Carmine. Here we are on the handling course. See that her suspension is pretty soggy. Be expected on a premium vehicle though. I expect she will do poorly on the handling course, but I'm going to try to mitigate that somewhat by using the all-wheel drive to my advantage and getting her a little bit more sideways with the e-brake to counteract that understeer. A little bit like that, ideally. Not that I'm going to be great at this. I do not normally practice drifting. But I don't like hitting guardrails either. Whee! Oh, way too aggressive on that one. Alright, that's not too terrible. Start having some fun with her and he can pull around the corners pretty well. I'm not gonna say pretty well. Decently. Alright, time to see how this last corner goes. Oh! Straight into the tire barrier. Multiple broken tires, but we'll limp across the finish line. We'll give that a 12th place, and we're going to mark that one in red. Might redo that one. But I don't think it'll be that important. I don't think she's going to win any hearts and minds other than for her luxurious interior. Alright, here we are on the uphill. I think she'll be decent at the uphill. The downhill I'm a little bit scared about. Good first indication will be this first hill crest. There we go. Okay. I think if I were to change anything, I would change the power distribution towards the rear. Only to give her a little bit more oversteer. A little bit too much understeer under power. So I end up having to use the e-brake to get her to move her back end around. Get to the split turn. Ooh, a little too far. Don't break tires like that. Here we go through the S turn. Not nearly as aggressively as the Puppe. There we go. And the e-brake trick is not gonna work anymore. The only thing she has going for her is all-wheel drive and being heavy. Whereas the Puppe had all-wheel drive and big tires. Big tires matter more than being heavy when it comes to ice. This heavy easily goes from being a asset to a liability very quickly. And there we go, across the finish line. Woo! A respectable 7 behind the Carmine and the Z-Vane, ahead of the Varchek and the Balo. Now for the downhill. Being careful. No problems. Tapping the guardrail there. Surfing the mountain. And I think I may have found a selling point for this car. In true Archonin fashion, you can take a punishment and keep on going. But you are not going to put any good lap times around, I don't think. I mean, the Balo was 50s, wasn't it? He is barely ahead of that. Oh, into the side. Yeah, the brakes not enough for this downhill. For the front brakes, at least. Because the rear brakes are maxing out early because there's less weight on them. Makes the grip patch for the rear tires smaller. Ooh, yeah, she does not like going downhill. That's that damage to the door. Oh, front passenger side a little bit dented. I'm not gonna floor it right across this crest this time. And glad I didn't. We'll floor it through the turn. Hit this section. Cross. There we go. And 7th on the downhill, too. Behind the Carmine, both Carmines, ahead of the C-Vane and the Varchek. Here we are on the city course, where we have found that this vehicle is too heavy for the downhill and did not perform very well, despite the loose suspension to help cushion all of that extra weight as she hits those portions. Woo, watch those curbs. Come up here, onto the downhill portion. we're going to be a little bit more cautious this time. That's acceptable. So is that. And there we go. No issues with that. Get onto the coastal road. The Bayside Road. As if we're going to go blazing up that on-ramp. And then be like, maybe not so much. Come up the hill to the back. Alright, there we go. So far so good. Watching those curbs. Past the parking garage. Towards the gas station, where we're going to go wide this time. Past car repair, which is doing good business these days. Met factory and second light post brake. And that worked out well for a car that tends to be a little sluggish on the brakes. As the brakes are sitting there at almost 600 degrees. And across the finish line. For a number 8. At least she's consistent, relatively. That puts her behind the Grot SS and the C-Vein, ahead of the Varchek and the Carmine. And here we are on the highway strip, where I imagine the Szykowny will do better than the Puppe, having more raw power, and I think a better cam profile for that quarter mile. Yep, and that puts us at a 16.6, which is pretty respectable. This gear is going to be a little sluggish until it hits the power curve. Yeah, she's struggling these last few miles an hour. That gives us a 43.284. Push her again at 8th. Behind the C-Vein and the Concession, in front of the Balo and the Kachan. So here we have the Szykowny. The two highlighted ones being our two contenders this round. Put in our overall, which the Szykowny is slower. No surprises there. But more towards the front of the middle of the pack. Not a bad car for a sports use. Alright, and we don't test anybody's car without giving it the Royal Archanan treatment. If you hadn't known, Archana, being a socialist state, threw off the bindings of their royals. Not as fast as I'd hoped, but fast enough. Oh, back onto the loop. Oh. And there we go. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed the experience. I'll bring over our spreadsheet for our last look at all of our contenders of the past, if you so desire. Appreciate you staying till the end. Please leave me a comment below, and I will see you next time. Take care.